So today we'll be reviewing the Stake share trading platform, which is the desktop and the US version. Just recently, they also launched the beta for the ASX share trading as well. So if you want to know more about that, check the link in the description or check out the video right here. They're basically offering flat fees of $3 per trade, which is pretty insane for ASX trading. Now, in the last couple of videos, we also had a look at Pearler and Self-Wealth. I basically did my in-depth review on those two brokers. So if you're interested, check out the video right here. There should be a link in the description as well. If you guys are new here, my name is Faizy. This channel is about finance and investing. Before we begin, as usual, this video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do some research on your own as well. Let's jump into it. So logging into the Stake profile, as you guys can see, this is the main portfolio screen that you will see. And if you haven't noticed, Stake has done a bit of a refresh recently. They've pretty much changed their logo very slightly. It's a bit different and I do like the new look. And they seem to be really pulling off that black and white aesthetic. It does look very premium, very sleek. Not a lot of brands and companies can actually pull it off. So props to Stake for actually doing it. It does look pretty amazing. And this dashboard screen basically will tell you everything that you need to know. It basically gives you a high level view of your portfolio. So as you can see, currently at the moment, these are my holdings. Obviously the holdings are hidden. I'm hoping once I reach 10K subscribers on the channel, if I even hit 10K, we'll do a big reveal, kind of revealing all the portfolio, all the stocks and ETFs that I hold, talking about why I bought them, the mistakes that I made. It'll be a pretty informative video, so do subscribe for that if you're interested. But yeah, this is pretty much the holding screen, and this top left corner basically tells us our current value of our equities, how much money we've made in the day, and how much money we've made overall. And on the right side, we've got our buying power, which is basically our funds available that we can use to trade and buy shares or stock. Now from the screen, if we just scroll down just a little bit, we can see that there is a new tab, which is the news tab, with a couple of news articles that you might be interested in. You've also got a couple of news articles relating to Amazon specifically. There's literally like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different Amazon articles. So yeah, if you're interested in Amazon, hopefully this could be helpful. Personally, I don't really use this feature at all. I don't like to look at this for my news. I use different sources. So for the right person, it may be worth it just to get a bit of a snapshot as to what's going on. So yeah, I guess if that's helpful. And then on the bottom, you can see that they've got a referral kind of sign up thing going on where if you refer a friend, you will get a free stock in either GoPro, Nike, or Dropbox. So pretty much if you sign up to Stake and you give your code away to a friend and your friend signs up, you and your friend will both be getting a free stock from one of those 3 companies, which is pretty cool. I don't think there's any companies in Australia that actually do this when it comes to brokerages specifically, so that's pretty cool. The only sort of condition or catch that they have is that once you sign up, you do have to deposit money into the Stake account within 24 hours. So yeah, make sure that you deposit the money, and yeah, once you do that, you'll be getting a free stock. And the good thing is, once you actually sign up, you can pretty much send this code to as many people as you like. Just make sure that you don't spam them, of course, but if you have many friends, send them to those people. Once they sign up and fund their account within 24 hours, you can keep getting those free stocks. And if you guys have not signed up to Stake yet, you can use a link in the description. You can pretty much use my link and also get a free stock, and I'll get a free stock as well. And yeah, happy days if you're interested. So jumping into the pricing for Stake, and this is where I believe the main value for Stake comes through. As you guys can see, pretty much no brokerage fees, right? So you can pretty much trade as many shares and as many ETFs as you want, keep buying and keep selling, and you will pay 0 brokerage on every single trade. And this is where Stake is very competitive when it comes to other brokers in the market, like, you know, competing with those big 4 banks. They still charge you those brokerage fees. So yeah, this is a very big plus for Stake, and that is the reason why I actually signed up to Stake in the first place. So that's pretty cool. But that of course does not mean that it is fee free. There are still fees charged, but you only pay the Forex fee. As you guys can see, it's pretty much 70 basis points on deposits and withdrawals. And this fee is actually charged in US dollars. So it's actually going to be somewhere around more closer to 1%. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You'll be paying around 1% to deposit and take out money. But if you're a long-term investor or you're looking to pretty much day trade, that might not even matter too much to you, but just keep that in mind. When you do sign up for the first time, you will be paying a $5 admin fee for Stake to complete that US tax form completely online and completely digitized. So there is no paperwork. The people at Stake pretty much hate doing paperwork, so that's pretty good to see. And compared to Superhero, Superhero also charges no brokerage on trades, and I believe Superhero's fees are about 0.5%. So they are a bit more competitive than Stake. So you know, depending on which brand you like and who you're familiar with, you might choose either Superhero or Stake. And you can see as well, you've got a bunch of orders that you can place, like market orders, limit orders, stop loss, and fractional shares. So with fractional shares, you can basically buy a percentage of a stock. So if you think Amazon is too expensive, you can pretty much buy like 1/100th of Amazon, or whatever it is, and actually buy it very slowly and in little pieces if you wish. And it pretty much means that you'll be trading with the same effect as if you had a bigger stock. The actual percentages are going to be the same, but of course the dollar value is going to be little. So yeah, you can still invest in big companies without actually having to save up all that money. So that's pretty interesting. It pretty much gives a lot of people more access. So jumping into the watch list at the moment, as you guys can see, I have no stocks or ETFs right now. So what I'll do is I'll just search for a random stock. Let's just type in, let's say Tesla, because the Tesla is pretty much everybody's favorite stock at the moment, especially after hitting 1 trillion or whatever. So as you can see, this is Tesla, and we can pretty much click watch list to add it into our watch list. Now, if I go to the watch list tab, as we can see, once it finishes loading, this will be here, and it pretty much gives us the price and the day change for that stock. Now, I just want to comment on this line graph, as you guys can see, or this candlestick graph that you can also switch to. Now, while this is one of the most sleekest charts I've ever seen in a broker, you can't really do much with this graph. Let's be very honest here, right? You only get a few categories. You can only look at it by days, weeks, months, 3 months, years, or 3 years. You can't even look at it as like a max perspective. There is no max button to see the overall share price. So that kind of sucks. I think even Google does a better job of displaying these charts. So I think that is definitely a negative. And looking at the candlestick side of things, I don't know any person that actually uses these candlesticks for their trading or whatnot. If you're kind of doing this stuff, you may even be using some other kind of professional service like TradingView or TradeView, I think it's called. They basically offer all these different charting services and all these kind of analysis tools. So you might be using those to actually, analyze your stocks if you're doing that sort of stuff for technical analysis. So yeah, it almost feels like a bit of a gimmick. I hate to say it, but I don't think anyone actually uses these candlestick charts. I think they're just there just for fun. But yeah, I think you can't really do much with these charts, but I guess it's a very sleek looking chart if that matters. Now, as you can see, this is a 1 week return for Tesla. And the thing that I don't like about this is the fact that usually with Google, if I click here and if I drag it to here, Google will actually tell me how much the actual percentage gain is for that period if I just click and drag. But doing it on here, it literally doesn't even tell you what's going on. It basically just gives you a total return at the top. And that's pretty much all you really get. You don't get to choose what the return is for that specific period. It's only for just that, overall period, which kind of sucks. It's very limited in, what it can do. But at the bottom, it does have a couple of features in terms of all the main information like open, high, low, 52-week high, low, market cap, and a couple of other ratios and yields and things like that as well. So that may be a bit convenient to have a look at. So scrolling down a little bit more, we can see that we've got a news tab once again, and it's a bit limited once again in a sense that it is just 3 articles. There's not more than 3 articles. So if you're doing some sort of a research into a company, ideally you want to start by searching it into Google or trying out a different website. I don't think this is a good place to start your research, but it does give you a high level view as to what's happening with the company and some recent events. So if you're an investor that's just looking around and not too interested in the daily kind of happenings with the company, this may be a good feature for that purpose. And then lastly, you've got the financials tab, which is pretty much the analyst ratings from, the Wall Street analysts that are predicting what the stock price should be and what the kind of the fair value should be for the stock. And also you've got a financials tab as well, which pretty much gives you earnings, EPS, and balance sheet, which may be interesting, but currently since I do not have Stake Black, these things are blurred out. So yeah, speaking of Stake Black, let's actually have a look at what Stake Black actually offers you. So as you guys can see, it's basically giving us 4 main offerings. You've got instant buying power, buy and sell ratings, price targets, and full company financials. Now, if I'm going to be very honest here in this review, the only, thing that's worth getting Stake Black for is the instant buying power, because it pretty much means that as soon as you sell a stock and you have the money available, you can pretty much buy things or buy stocks with it immediately. You don't actually have to wait for that money to settle, right? Usually it takes about 2 business days for the money to actually hit your account. And this broker, if you do not have Stake Black, you actually have to wait 2 days for the money to settle, and then you can buy another stock again, which pretty much, it sucks quite a bit, especially if you're trying to day trade and trade very frequently. So that feature is pretty mandatory if you're looking to day trade, but other things like analyst ratings and price targets and full company financials, you can pretty much get all these things online from other sources. So I don't think that's that useful in my opinion. Now, in terms of how much Stake Black actually costs, as you guys can see, it costs about $7.50 per month if it's billed annually. So it's only $90 per year. And it's about $9 per month if you're pretty much, getting billed month to month. So depending on who you are, that actually might not be too bad. I think it's pretty affordable for what you're getting. You're trading shares with pretty much zero brokerage and you're getting instant buy and sell. So I think that might be worth it for the right person. Now, the last thing we'll have a look at is the market section, as you guys can see. And I do like this screen quite a bit because you've got all the kind of major indices around the world. So you've got the S&P 500, you've got the NASDAQ, you've got the VIX as well, which is a volatility index, I believe. And then you've also got the DJI index. Now, it's also fully customizable in a sense that if I actually click on this drop-down menu over here, you can see some other things as well, like the Russell index, Euro Stocks, and gold as well. Now, I can't really see any ASX 200 or 300 here, and that's because currently I'm sitting on the Wall Street version, which is pretty much the American stock trading version of Stake. I can pretty much click here and go on to the ASX version, which is currently in beta at the moment. And once this finishes loading, I'll show you guys once I go on to the market screen. So once I'm here, you guys can see I've got all the familiar options here, like ASX 200, All Odds, Tech Index. And if I click here, I've got some other indexes as well, like financials, resources, small caps, and tech as well. So yeah, depending on which market you're looking at, if you're with the US version, obviously you can only see the US markets and US indexes. All right, now let's have a look at the cons of Stake as a broker. Now, starting off with the first one is that when you're trying to trade frequently, it can get a bit laggy, right? So last year I was trying to trade frequently, which is something that I don't do anymore. But when I was trying to buy and sell, the screen and the actual platform would freeze quite constantly. I would place a trade and then it would take a while to actually execute. The screen would freeze and whatnot. Now, since then, it has been quite a while, of course, and the Stake team has said that they have actually worked on this to make sure that it's not as laggy anymore. So I hope that's been fixed. I haven't really been day trading or anything like that recently. So yeah, let me know if you've been using it and if it's been fixed. But yeah, that was a bit of an issue back then. Now, secondly, if you're using Stake to get access to all of the US stocks, you will not be getting access to all the stocks. You'll be getting access to the main ones and the top ones, like all the big companies over in America. But when it comes to trading those US penny stocks, you will not be able to trade those penny stocks at all because those stocks do not exist with Stake at the moment. It's only the big companies, and still the selection is there. You can still trade a couple thousand ETFs and stocks, but when it comes to the specific penny stocks that no one's ever heard of, unfortunately, you can't trade those penny stocks. But if you are looking for a bigger collection of stocks and ETFs, I think check out SelfWealth or Interactive Brokers. They may also have a selection of those specific penny stocks with them. I do know that SelfWealth has a bigger collection of stocks and ETFs, so check it out and check out maybe Interactive Brokers for a full list. I believe they have all the stocks, if I'm not mistaken. Thirdly, as we saw with the charts on Stake, they're definitely not very good. Let's just be very honest here. I think that they're just there because they have to be there, because Stake is a broker that's focused around trading and making money. But those charts are not very good and they're very basic, and they do need to be updated to make sure that they have more functionality. Otherwise, people are just going to start to use other charting software that is out there. And I think people are doing that already, to be honest. Now, fourthly, the pricing for Stake is starting to be very slowly less competitive when it comes to other competitors in the market. Now, don't get me wrong, Stake still has some of the most competitive pricing that is out there, but with new entrants like Superhero with 0.5% on FX fees, Stake is starting to be less and less competitive when it comes to that sort of stuff. So if you're the type of person that wants things to be as competitive as possible and you want the cheapest of the cheapest at all times, Stake may not be the one for you in terms of being cheap, but in terms of their overall user experience, I do think it's pretty good, and that's the reason why I currently keep on using Stake, and I'm happy to use it for the time being. So that is the review. If you enjoyed this video, check out these two videos right here. This is a SelfWealth and this is a Pearler review that I've done. Pretty much an in-depth breakdown of what these brokers do and the features that they have that are very unique to each other. So check it out. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. So that is a review